Hey guys, so the other day I was up in Kensington Market and I saw a bunch of people protesting outside Bacon Nation. So I decided to go talk to them to see what they were all about.
Guys, tell us about like what you guys are protesting about.
We're protesting in front of Bacon Nation here because we want there to be justice for animals, and we care about the environment. Animal agriculture is ruining the planet. Also, it's very, very cruel. The animal agriculture industry is very, very violent. Pigs live in gestation crates for most of their lives and are forcibly impregnated again and again and again.
And a gestation crate is a small cage.
They can't even move.
They
They're
can't
like
even
this.
turn around. They can't walk. They can just go forward one step, backwards one step. And so they become, they go insane because for their entire life they're just forcibly impregnated. They have these babies and then they sit in this crate where they can't even like walk to the side.
Right.
Pigs are as intelligent as 3-year-old children, at least. We don't even know their intelligent level, and they get bored because they have no room to do anything.
Right.
Yeah, and it's also bad for us. Bacon is, all processed meat is a class 1 carcinogen. You look at the World Health Organization, all processed meats are a class 1 carcinogen. So we're actually standing against also the destruction of the planet, stopping cruelty towards animals, and for our own health. So there's no good thing that comes out of this health.
Animals aren't commodities. They're living beings. They're sentient. They feel.
Definitely.
They love. They have dreams. And the most important thing is that they suffer.
Okay.
And what we're doing to them is completely unjust and completely immoral. And we're not going to stand by while it's normalized. Places like Bacon Nation to say that, you know, this is fun and this is funny and like, you know, the more bacon the better. It's complete violence.
We don't need
we're
it
going
either.
to take a
We don't need
stand
it
for justice, and animals deserve justice just as much as people. It's discrimination to say that an animal's suffering doesn't matter just because they're different than us, just as it's discrimination to say that about a human.
Right.
So
So what do you guys suggest they do? Like what can
go
they do to
vegan.
improve?
Go vegan,
Go
yeah,
vegan.
absolutely.
Really?
There are so many options nowadays, absolutely. You can get all your protein. Actually, I can give you a handout. There's so many things you get protein from. Brown rice, peas, what else do I have?
Challenge22.com. It's a free nutrition program, 22
Registered
days long.
dietitians. They have registered
And
dietitians.
any questions you have, there's someone there to help you along the way. If you want to know how you're going to get your protein, if you want to know what's going to happen if you stop drinking milk, will you get enough calcium? Which absolutely, milk is
It's
actually the worst
It's all
thing
from
for
the industry.
calcium.
It's all from the industry.
But there's so many ways to become to just live in alignment with your values. You know, if you love animals, eating them and wearing them and eating their secretions, like
And there's
eggs
pus in
and
the milk.
milk.
There's pus in the milk as well too.
Eating those things, it's not in alignment with your values. If you are an animal lover, you cannot exploit and use animals. So it's all
makes
about just becoming in alignment with your values, and the best and easiest way to do that is to go vegan, and it's good on all levels. It's good for the animals, it's good for the planet, and it's good for your health.
So then for the people who doesn't want to commit to like full on being vegan, can they do anything else to help the situation out?
I mean, is it okay to only hurt? Is it okay to abuse a dog just 3 times a week? Or would you say?
But I feel like going vegan is such a big commitment.
No,
There
but-
are so many options nowadays.
But
so
just
many
think
options.
about it. Think about it. Is it okay to be violent a few times a week, or is it just
Really?
something that should not be happening? So veganism is saying we have no tolerance for violence, and it's a stand against violence and injustice. And that's not something that you can only do on Mondays. You know, you can't do meatless Mondays. You can't do like, oh, I eat plant-based during the week, but meat on the weekend. It's something that needs to happen consistently because that
has been a big issue in the world recently. Fairlife just released their results to their 10-year undercover investigation in the dairy industry. And what they found was actually quite disturbing. I'll show you a clip of the whole video, and if you would like to see the whole thing, I'll leave the link down below.
our 10 years of being undercover, we have never seen such consistent, constant abuse to a newborn baby animal. Fair Oaks Farm is the largest dairy in the United States. They have created a joint venture with the Coca-Cola Corporation. The difference between Fair Oaks Farm's Dairy Adventure and the reality of the dairy industry is night and day. Everything is a lie. The only training that our investigator was trained on at Fair Oaks Farms was make sure you take the back road when you have dead calves in your transport.
Yeah, it's quite disturbing. Now, if you like to help out the cause towards animal cruelty, like the protesters said, you could just go vegan. But being vegan is something that not very many people understand. So I decided to go find somebody who is vegan to shed some light on the subject. Please welcome Kate McSweeney. Welcome to the channel, Kate. So first of all, how long have you been a vegan for?
Well, I think about 4 years. It was vegan for a little bit, I think 4 years ago in the summer, and then I went more on like the vegetarian side. I'm almost vegan, but I don't eat meat at all, and I don't eat eggs, and I don't drink milk. I just bake with them.
Okay.
So like in my baked goods, right? So I am essentially vegan, but mostly vegetarian. But I've been for I think 4 and a half years.
Damn. Okay, so can you tell us about why you decided to become a vegan?
Yeah. Okay. So I think I was 12. I was like a little 12, 13-year-old, and I was watching this documentary with my mom. I don't remember exactly what it was called. It might have been called Vegecation, vegan education or something like that. It was a documentary about animals and how chickens were being raised for farming and for meat production, and how animals were being treated in these kind of. And it was about the animal cruelty essentially, and I was like, I don't really want to. It kind of it freaked me out too much, but I thought I didn't really want to be supporting that industry, and so I was like, Mom, I want to go vegan, and she was like, okay, sure. So I did after that, and I also figured it was a healthier lifestyle as well. I watched some documentaries that had to do with the health impacts of eating meat and what it does to your arteries and your body in general, and I was like, okay, I feel good for multiple different reasons about eating a plant-based diet.
Really?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are worried about going vegan, that they won't get enough protein without eating meat and eggs, and not getting enough calcium without drinking milk and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that aspect of things?
That is definitely a huge problem. My parents were really worried about that when I started, and we went and we talked to a nutritionist, I believe, and we were talking about vitamins first and foremost. There's vitamin B12, you get a lot of that from red meats, and it's really hard to get that anywhere else. Iron as well. So for those, I would take supplements, right? And my iron levels are actually fine. I don't eat red meat and I don't take supplements anymore. Because you can get, when you eat a lot of citrus, I eat a lot of grapefruit because I really love it. Eating citrus helps increase your absorption ability of iron. So the fact that I ate a lot of citrus actually contributed to the amount of iron that I could get out of vegetables such as spinach. That's one that has a lot of iron in it, and almost all leafy vegetables. So my iron levels are perfectly fine. I honestly don't worry about it at all. Protein wise, a lot of people are worried about that. Obviously, it's hard to get protein out of a lot of stuff, but of course I do eat a lot of nuts. That's what I eat in my lunch. I eat almonds. Tofu, it's hard to cook with. Obviously, it tastes awful, it tastes like nothing, but if you can figure out how to cook with it, there's so many different things you can do with that. I love making quinoa salads. It's my favorite thing ever. You can get a lot of protein from that. And you can put edamame in your salads as well, and I get protein from that. I eat cereals for breakfast that are I think the one I have is there's one that's Edge protein, and the other one that I have, it's some oat brand cereal, but it's got 10 grams of protein per serving, and so that's a really good amount. And I do get less than the normal amount of protein in my diet, but I'm okay. I'm perfectly fine. I go and I've had blood tests once to make sure I was fine, and as long as you know what to eat and you read the labels on the foods you're eating, it's not hard to get the right amount of protein in your diet.
So it definitely takes a lot more effort to
It does. You have to be
eat.
more conscious of what you're
Right.
eating, just to make sure hey, my energy levels are a little bit lower. Maybe I need to eat more protein because that
Right.
really contributes to that. Yeah.
There's a rat.
Oh my gosh.
There's a rat.
Yes.
There's a rat in the school.
Oh my god.
Just out of curiosity, what do you put, if you don't drink milk, what do you put in your cereal?
Oh, there's so many other milks. There's like it's not as good. I gotta have to admit, but like my mom's lactose intolerant too, and so is my brother. So we have all kinds of different milks at our house. We have almond milk and soy milk. We used to have rice milk as well. I don't like that one as much, but almond milk for sure. That's what my brother drinks. You can have chocolate almond milk.
Right.
There's all kinds of really good ones. So that is what I would have.
Okay. So can you talk about a day in the life vegan diet, like what you have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Yeah, so breakfast, as I was talking about, is I definitely have cereal, and I drink like orange juice too. Pretty standard stuff.
Right.
Or just like toast, because bread is vegan.
Right.
And then I bring my lunch to school, which is usually like grapefruit. I have some kinds of nuts, other fruits, my vitamins. I keep them in a little container for when I remember to eat them. And
But what do you eat as your like the main course?
I do not have one usually.
Really?
Yeah, no, usually, because I usually eat when I get home again afterwards, so I eat like a lot of nuts, and it's like nuts and fruit and that kind of thing. Sometimes I'll have salads, like if I make quinoa salad, I bring that the next day to school. Hummus as well, I love hummus, so I take that for lunch and So yeah, I eat a lot of like hummus and those kinds of things, but a lot of pasta too. I make pasta salads. There's a lot of protein in pasta, which can be really good for you if you know like the right brand to buy. Dinner-wise, I often make my own dinner. My parents sometimes make stuff too. My mom actually orders from this company called Green Zebra, and they make like vegan meals and they like deliver them to you. So I eat those sometimes, but a lot of the times I look at our fridge and I'm like, what can I make out of this? So I make quinoa salads. I make French onion soup a lot because you really just need onions, and we have a lot of onions, so I make that. Because onions are really good for you
Right.
for a lot of different reasons. It's good to have a lot of allium vegetables in your diet. Salads.
You talk about salads a lot.
Yeah.
Like, do you like eat anything outside your main course, or?
Well, I don't eat like salads that are literally just like leaves, like that are just like such like spinach. It's like quinoa salad and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, I don't eat like what you eat, like your traditional salads. I also eat a lot of falafels. I really like pierogies. You can have some good pierogies with like potato and onions and stuff. I love those. Yes, vegan pulled pork. The one that I made uses jackfruit, which is like it's like this giant fruit. I think it originates in like Thailand or something like that. But you could buy it at these health food stores, and then you just like add your spices to it. You add like smoked paprika, and it's really good. Like you just get like a bun. I made one once, and you just use like collard greens as a wrap. Anyways, it's really good. And there's so many things you can do.
So it's like basically like a fruit burger rather than.
Sure, yes, technically, but it doesn't taste like fruit, so it's bland. Like it doesn't taste. It's like tofu. So once you do something to it, it can become like all kinds of things. Do all sorts of stuff.
And another thing I wanted you to know is what can other people do to help out the cause towards animal cruelty? When I asked the protesters, they said basically just go vegan. It was either go vegan or nothing. So I wanted to know if there was anything between the two extremes of going vegan or doing nothing.
I mean, what I would do is you can either reduce your consumption of meats. I know a lot of people sometimes just cut out red meat from their diets and eat just like chicken, poultry, or I was pescatarian at one point.
You're what?
Pescatarian, so it means you just eat fish. So you don't eat any meats except for fish.
Oh.
I don't really know why people do it, because some people consider fish less animal-y than other animals. I never really understood it, but you could be pescatarian. If you want to keep eating meats, just like be aware of like where meats are coming from. Like just know that certain companies have kind of like colonized the market for meats and stuff, but you can still buy like organic, like free-range chicken or free-range eggs. That are, and it really reduces the amount of animal cruelty, because yeah, it's gonna happen, but like if you can reduce your contribution to it by what you buy, every bit makes a difference in the end, and that's what I would do.
Well, okay, thank you for your time, Kate.
You're welcome.
So there you have it, guys. Being cruel to animals isn't right. I mean, they have feelings too, just like human beings. They can feel things, they can dream. So perhaps help the cause by going vegan, or at least be aware of where your meat is coming from, or perhaps just switch to eating coins.